Hello, hello, beautiful people. Happy January 19th. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday in my world. All right, let's start with our calendar from mom reading. Look for something positive in every day, even if some days you have to look a little harder. Oh, by the way, I'm Bobby the Awesome, and you're at 321 No Kidding. Thank you for being here. Yeah, looking for something positive every day. And some days it's harder than others, for sure. It's all a matter of perspective. I got another calendar gift from my mother yesterday, and it's really cute. It's these little sloths. It's a sloth calendar, and I hung it right in front of my computer. So something positive can be something as simple as looking at a cute little sloth picture. I would hope that you can find more monumental things, like it's positive that we're breathing, drinking water, living. It's positive that we have problems to solve. It's even more positive when we solve them. Moving right along to today's, I'm sure, positive reading for January 19th. Samuel Beckett says, "One could say that I had a happy childhood, although I showed little talent for being happy. Our choices in relationships, careers, lifestyle, and expression of feelings and talents are often the result of our upbringing. Has the social climate changed significantly since our childhood? Have our family systems changed? Can we find ways to change old, ineffective behaviors? Recovery offers us the gifts of responsibility and self-forgiveness. Now, as we begin to change, we can let go of the past and its pain. Our ability to change often starts by embracing our inner selves with forgiving adult arms. In this act, we take responsibility for our own happiness, nurturing ourselves towards the new life we are finding in recovery. We are earning our own love in a whole new way. We respect and honor our physical selves with rest, exercise, and nutritional food. We stimulate our minds with new ideas and experiences. And we send our spirits soaring through conscious contact with our higher power. We feel worthy of love and even have enough to give some away. Now we are learning the talent for being happy. Today, grant me the power of self-forgiveness and the gift of hope." Some days, guys, I feel like the reading can get a little overwhelming. This one has a lot of words, so I'm going to go back a little slower through this time and see what they're really trying to say here. Our choices in relationships, careers, lifestyle, and expression of feelings and talents are often a result of our upbringing. I agree with that. Like, we have our perceptions and our opinions and our limiting beliefs and maybe even great beliefs, but all of that does have to do with what we've learned, it stems from childhood because we have to go through childhood to get here, but I totally agree with it has to do with what we've learned. Has the social climate changed significantly since our childhood? Have our family system changed? Can we find ways to change old, ineffective behaviors? For me, totally, the social climate changed. My family system changed. I did not choose to do the regular traditional family dynamic of having children and all of that. So for me, it's obviously different. Can we find ways to change our old ineffective behaviors? And that was one of the reasons that as a late teenager, like, I had tried not drinking for a while. Like when I was like 17 or 18, I was like, okay, I'll quit drinking because I had partied a lot when I was younger. And I believe that I became a gambler for a lot of reasons because I didn't want to end up an alcoholic. That's just my personal belief on mine. So that was a way to change the old ineffective behaviors of the family dynamic. However, it led me down another path. So it wasn't really about old ineffective behaviors disappearing because essentially I traded one potential addiction for another. And again, this is just my belief on how I perceive my development. Recovery offers us gifts of responsibility and self-forgiveness. Now, as we begin to change, we can let go of the past and its pain. Our ability to change often starts by embracing our inner selves with forgiving adult arms. We take responsibility for our own happiness, nurturing ourselves towards a new life. I see this a lot in my niece. She is 16. I swear to goodness, she's going on 30 or 40, because I feel like she's learning the same things at 16 now that it took me until this last 3 or 4 years to figure out. And the way that I've always dealt with trying to change was challenging myself, holding myself to certain expectations, or learning the new ways. And I see her doing that. She's already investigating her spirituality and her work and her mental struggles. Like, she struggles with anxiety, and she put herself into a situation, by being at work in retail, food, restaurant, retail, to help her get over that. Those are big freaking decisions to help take responsibility for her own happiness and nurturing herself towards the new life. She doesn't want to end up like her folks, or I shouldn't be speaking for her, but I don't think she wants to end up like her folks. She wants to have a good, happy life. Now, don't get me wrong. She's still a teenager, and I won't tell you she has it all figured out, but I'm very proud of how she's taking ownership. And I'm telling you this because if a 16-year-old can start looking at that, anybody can. Any adult potentially can. We are earning our own love in a whole new way. We respect and honor our physical selves with rest, exercise, and nutritional food. Okay, I will admit they can do a little bit better about their sleeping habits down there. My niece and her boyfriend and everything, they they have wacky schedules, and again, I have to give her a little credit because she's going to school and working and just trying to go through life. And she's aware that she's eating too much of the McDonald's she's working at, so hopefully she gets more nutritional food. And I tell you this again, she's 16, I'm 46. If you're out there listening and you're an adult, it's possible. And if you are in recovery or working on being your best self or sorting through your stuff, you need to respect and honor your physical self. And being aware of that is half the battle. The rest, the exercise, the nutritional food. If you're not thinking about that, you can't make it better. Stimulating our minds with new ideas and experiences. Again, if we're trapped, like for me, if I was trapped in a casino, not trapped literally, but trapped at a card table, trapped at a slot machine, that's not a new idea or experience. I can see the contrast from when I do things like vacation, for example. In the old days, when I went to Aruba, there's no way I would have went on 2 new golf courses, new to me, or a UTV, ATV trip. I never would have done that. I would have been in Aruba, where I would have went through the flights and the COVID tests and the lugging my golf bag through. Well, I wouldn't have my golf bag, but I would have went through all these hoops to get there to go lock myself in the casino that was on the property. And I would have never saw Aruba. I never would have met new people. I never would have experienced the beautiful island. I would have never practiced my meditation. I probably still wouldn't know what meditation really was. So we do have that choice, and it can be very, very different than how it was when we were gambling or using. We send our spirit soaring through conscious contact with our higher power. We feel worthy of love and even have enough to give some away. We're learning the talent for being happy. And I really feel that that's one of the biggest motivators for me on how I live my life most days. I won't say every day because I'm definitely not perfect. And there's days I need a little kick in the butt, whether from myself or someone else, to be like, dude, what are you bitching about? Because there's days I just want to be bitchy and crazy. Yesterday was one of them for about a half an hour. I was frustrated. I went to bank number 1. It was closed. And I thought it was COVID related and you can go to the ATM, but I don't use the ATM for that account. So I'm getting frustrated. I'm like literally yelling at the bank. I gave myself some grace and I was like, okay, I must need to let this go. Yelling at the bank, which was totally irrational. And again, I'm mindful enough to know that it was irrational even in the moment. So then I drive to the second bank and I can't get in there either. So finally I was like, screw it. Part of why I decided to go to the bank and the area that I was I figured I can go do my self-care and go tanning and hit the bank all in one thing. I probably would have never made it to tanning otherwise. So I guess the bank was a good motivator to get me out of the house a little bit. So then I decided to come back to the one by my house that I could have walked to, that I would have never had gone tanning, but I would have went for a walk. Well, I get to the door and I'm finally like patient enough to sit and look for a minute. The reason it's locked is because yesterday was a holiday here. It was Martin Luther King's Day, which is a bank holiday. So here I am like venting, screaming, and could have done so much better. Like, I don't even know why I was so frustrated, because really going to the bank wasn't that important, because I woke up this morning and totally forgot I had to do it even after being so crazy yesterday. So I must have needed a download. Anyway, I tell you that because it wasn't one of my finest I'm happy moments. But as a general rule, the things I'm doing either make me happy or are preparing me for a future to be happy and successful with the things that I'm working on. I'm always aware, though, that like the future isn't guaranteed. So I try to live in the moment the best I can. If I want to do an impromptu trip, such as Aruba or my 5-week road trip, whatever that is, or blow off working hard on something, if a friend calls and they want to go do something, I make those choices because my happiness comes first. And that sounded really selfish. I'm going to call it self-devoted. But I do put my happiness first a lot of the times. I like living by myself and having my quiet time. I would never go stay, with someone else or share a room or, have a roommate, say, just to save money, because that wouldn't make me happy. I'm happy being alone in my own space. These are just examples. I want to be where if I died tomorrow, I have no regrets. That's how I live my life. And that's what recovery gives me. I don't know that I could have said that when I was gambling. It was more of a reckless, I could say I had no regrets because I always gambled, but that would be untrue. I think if anything happened to me when I was gambling, I'd still be like, I wanted to go see Australia, for example. It's on my bucket list. And now I want to go see the world. So not just Australia, although I plan on getting there one day. And I say that after, when I think about Australia, one of my friends, I've made some friends that live there once that I can go stay with her. So I just said I wouldn't live in a room with a roommate, but that's different. Because it wouldn't be my place. It would be going to Australia and, not moving in forever, but getting to spend quality time with an old friend. So that doesn't really count. I know I'm talking in a little circles. I had a really rough sleeping night last night, and I feel a little loopy this morning. So I apologize if I'm babbling just a little bit. I think the moral of the story from today's reading is, yes, we can learn from our childhood, which kind of stems off of some of the stuff we talked about yesterday as well. But I'm going to also just call it like I always call it and make it about our own happiness and recognizing and understanding that recovery gives us a chance at that happiness. I'm going to hang up now because I feel like I'm all over the board today. I don't want to do that to you. So hopefully I said what was needed to be said for whoever needed to hear it. Appreciate you guys being with me, and I will talk to you tomorrow when hopefully I don't sound as whacked out as I feel like I do today. Thanks, beautiful people.